President Trump is ramping up his America First agenda with the announcement of new 25% tariffs on all foreign-made cars. The tariffs are set to take effect 1 week from today in a move that the White House says will, quote, protect and strengthen the U.S. automotive sector. Now, tariffs on imported car parts are planned as well, starting by early May. But experts warn that these tariffs will make vehicles far more expensive for U.S. consumers. Meanwhile, Trump is sending his Vice President J.D. Vance and the Second Lady on a visit to Greenland this week that's being seen as controversial by many. The president has repeatedly said that he wants the U.S. to take control of the autonomous Danish territory. And it's policies like these and the growing trade war with U.S. allies and foes alike that have led many people around the world to boycott American products, often sharing and organizing their efforts on social media.
USA boycott, supermarket edition, and we're on to Cathedral City cheese. That is British made but Canadian owned, so win-win. And then Pilgrim's Choice, good old Ireland is responsible for these ones.
Instead of Coke, I've bought no sugar cola, made in Australia from at least 99% Australian ingredients. And I bought it from Aldi, so some of the profits will go to Germany.
I don't want to be spending my money at the moment on USA brands, whether it be the clothes that I wear, the food that I buy in the shop, but most importantly, the makeup that I buy for my makeup kit as a professional makeup artist here in the UK. I just really want to support UK-based brands and European as well.
All right, let's bring in Mads Martin, founder of a European group organizing boycotts of American products. He joins me live this hour from Copenhagen, Denmark. Mads, great to have you this morning. Appreciate you being here. As you know, Vice President J.D. Vance and Second Lady Usha Vance are set to arrive in Greenland tomorrow. As a Dane, how do you feel about this visit and this renewed attention on Greenland?
Well, I'm not just surprised. I'm really, I think it's an extreme level of provocation from the administration, and it's an escalation of a very bad situation.
Tell me a little bit about this Facebook group. It now has 90,000 members. This is a group that pledges to boycott American products. What made you start it, and are you surprised by how big it's gotten?
Well, I'm a little surprised, but people in the Nordic country and all over Europe, Canada, Australia, all over the world, we're really mad, and we find we need to react in some way. So I'm not that surprised, actually. We're counting 200,000 members in the Nordic country groups, and I mean, in Canada there's millions, and so I'm not really that surprised, but of course it's a lot of people. We have to remember the Facebook group is just the tip of the iceberg. 50% of Danes are said to boycott American products.
Wow, 50%. I mean, that's massive. You mentioned the group is on Facebook. Facebook, obviously, Meta, obviously an American company. But talk to us about how you yourself have boycotted American products. What does that look like in your life?
Well, mainly I'm signing out of all the streaming services and all technical platforms. So I'm changing away from Google Maps. We have signed out from Airbnb, and so it's kind of all the web services is what we're pointing at and that we're kind of discarding. And then obviously the more symbolic things like Coca-Cola and products that are obviously American.
Yeah, I mean, Coca-Cola is a great example. I mean, what do you say, Mads, to those who say, look, these American companies, these are not necessarily a reflection of any administration, let alone this administration, and they themselves can find themselves on the losing end of Trump policies when it comes to tariffs. Is it fair to target these companies when they have nothing to do with the policies coming out of the White House?
Well, I think the whole thing is not fair. I think what the American administration is doing is not fair. And I think it's really unnecessary. We don't understand why they do it, but we have to answer back with what we can and what we have at what we can do. And what we know that we're not having a major financial impact because boycotts tend to not have that. But we have a very big impact on the American brand. And that is actually what we're doing. And of course, we see Elon Musk helping very well along damaging the American brand. But we're going that way, one could say.
Yeah, and to be clear, I thought it was interesting you said in your comments to our producers that this is not necessarily toward Americans, that a lot of Danes have friends in America, that a lot of Danes visit America. This is not about Americans themselves. This is about the policies coming out of the White House.
Exactly. You have to remember, we're really surprised of what happened. It's a few months ago, America was a very, very dear and close friend and ally. And now we're sitting back and we're listening to, a level of hate and disrespect from the American administration. But most of us have been to the United States many times. Most of us has friends and some even have family in the USA. So we're just really, really hoping that we, as soon as possible, can normalize the situation and get back to where we were and be friends as we used to. But it feels very difficult listening to what the American administration is saying about Europe right now. It seems very disturbing.
To that end, Mads, what do you wish you could say to Trump or Vance about the sentiment in Denmark right now, about some of the tough talk we've seen? And do you think Danes are taking this tough talk as a serious, credible threat?
Oh, this is very serious. This is a threat of a very, very high level, and we're talking, people are very scared of a war with the USA in Greenland right now. A physical annexation of Greenland. That's what people are scared of. And we're going to stand against it. We're not going to accept it. And if I could talk to Trump, I'm not going to, but if I could, I would say, why don't you just sit down and we talk about it? What is it that you want? And can we find some way to negotiate this instead of this really, really weird behavior? It's a way to react, Why does he talk like that? Why all this show off? It's really vulgar. It's vulgar, that's what I think.
Okay, well, we'll leave it here, but we certainly appreciate your insights and perspective this morning. That's Mads Martin. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and good day to you.
Likewise.